He's the crown prince of Yong, a man everyone can trample. Even the emperor despises his existence. Trapped in this deadly game, only one person can help him turn the tables and rise again. He can only play carefully, luring his prey to trap. Crown Prince Yuan is solving a chess puzzle the emperor gave. With the dryness in his throat makes him cough violently. Just then, a mocking voice comes from behind. Well, if it isn't my sickly brother. Still working on that impossible father gave. Visitor is none other than third Prince Yuan. His face is twisted with malice. His words drip with venom. How about I tell you how to make father happy? If you die, he'll be happy. You die, and we'll all be happy. Yeah, you heard right. He's the third prince. Yet he can humiliate me, the first prince, without. Only because his mother is consort Qing, who holds all the emperor's favor. While my mother is the cold palace empress, shunned by all. But I'm the legitimate eldest son who stole the nest. The third prince insults him and even breaks his forehead with an inkstall. After the third prince leaves, he bends his frail body to pick up the torn paper. A tall shadow falls over him. A cold voice comes from above. Get up! Yuan Yi's pupils shrink. He quickly kneels to pay respects. The emperor barks harshly. The crown prince lets his own brother run wild over him. What a waste. Yuan Yi clenches his fists, filled with bitter resentment. Of course he can bully me however he wants. You just stood there watching. Your eyes never rest on me. How could I ever stand up to him? The emperor picks up a chess piece to break the deadlock. If there are no pieces left on the board, you must find another way. Only by taking risks can you break free. I'm giving you 1 year to win over those stubborn old fools in the Northern Desert Army. If you fail, don't bother coming to see me again. With that, he throws down the piece and turns to leave. After the emperor leaves, his expression changes instantly. Gone is the weakness. His eyes are sharp as blades. A meaningful smile plays on his lips. Father, to break this deadlock. All it takes is this one move from you. My pieces, I'll take them back myself. Watch how this waste of a crown prince rises from the ashes. I'm the waste crown prince Yuan Yi, constantly trampled and insulted by the third prince. Even the emperor despises me. To turn things around, all I need is one person. Yuan Yi's party arrives at the northern desert. He looking at the scenery outside. He can't help but sigh. The northern desert is such a brutal place, perfect for raising wolves. So he stops the convoy and orders them to halt. His attendant helps him down, telling him, I heard young master, he is hunting snow demons here. He set traps all over this mountain. Your highness, you must not go up. It's too dangerous. Yuan Yi ignores the warning and insists on going. Meanwhile, under Yihua's command, the soldiers are working hard to set up traps on the mountain. Speaking of the crown prince who's inspecting today, Yihua's tone is full of contempt and disdain. He's not here to inspect. He couldn't stay in the capital anymore. They kicked him out. Besides, dining with the crown prince is about sucking up to power. Catching snow demons is about punishing evil. The attendant is speechless. Punishing evil. The biggest menace in the northern desert. That be you, little master. Just then, a flying knife shoots out, stabbing hard into the tree beside Yihua. On the blade, a white cloth clearly reads, Snow Demon Attack. Yihua says playfully, see, told you I should stay here. With that, he leaps up, landing in just moments where the snow demon was spotted. There's rustling in the bushes. He draws his sword and yanks the red rope tied to the tree. As he pulls, a humanoid creature leaps out from the bushes. He pauses startled. The figure crashes into him with a thud. He can't help but squeeze. Why does this snow demon feel just like a person? Nice tech. The person he pulled out is Yuan Yi. Yuan Yi says through gritted teeth, My friend, I'm not some snow demon. I'm Yuan Yi. Yihua is stunned when he sees his face. So beautiful. His cheeks flush slightly. Then it hits him. Wait, you said your surname is Yuan. You're the crown prince here to inspect the northern desert. Yuan Yi can't help but gasp in pain. His leg has been pierced by the trap. Blood stains his calf. Just arrived and already caught off guard by the young master's trap. Please look after me from now on. Their eyes meet. In this moment, Yuan Yi falls into his trap, and also into his heart. A good hunter always appears as prey. Watch this sickly beauty turn the whole game around. In residence, Yuan Yi sits across from Northern Desert Duke Hirong. Hirong suggests that since the crown prince has been away from the emperor, others might steal his spotlight, so this weak prince should head back to the capital quickly. Yuan Yi says calmly, if I'm doing something that concerns the safety of the realm, who could steal my spotlight? Hirong's eyes flash with calculation. Then the crown prince says bluntly, I'm not just here to inspect. Hirong suspects he wants the military seal of the He army. If it's the seal, I'm afraid your highness will be disappointed. Yuan Yi's tone is calm. The He army is legendary, even with the seal. I might not be able to use it. Father sent me here for just one small item. The dragon mace. At those words, the previously calm Hirong rises in fury. He flicks his sleeve with authority. Tell his majesty the dragon mace will never see the light of day again. He turns and coldly dismisses the guest that the northern desert is cold. The crown prince is frail and shouldn't stay long. Shoot, someone will escort the crown prince back to the capital. With that, he moves to leave. But Yuan Yi calls out the He family has held military power in the northern desert for decades. Rumors say the duke harbors treacherous intent, waiting for the day to invade the capital. Before he finishes, Hirong snaps a nonsense. Yuan Yi continues, the crown prince was injured by young master He, and now you're sending him back to the capital with that injured leg. If something happens along the way, will the realm believe the duke has no treasonous heart? That night, Yuan Yi sits in his room. A maid asks, Your Highness, when you got off the carriage early that day, did you already foresee this? Yuan Yi's eyes lower, his voice flat. The duke is stubborn. I had no choice but to take this approach. Just then, his attendant rushes in. Your Highness, young master, he won't let me get the medicine. He says you're faking and that you have to come yourself. Yuan Yi thinks for a moment, then I'll go see. With the maid's help, he gets out of bed. When he arrives alone at the medicine room with a cane, Yihua is lying on a chair behind the counter waiting. He looks up, startled to see Yuan Yi walk in. He sits up with a smirk. Well, you actually came. Yuan Yi says coldly, is this the He family's hospitality? Making an injured man come fetch his own mat. Yihua jumps down from the counter in a flash, appearing right in front of Yuan Yi. He grabs his wrist and leans in. I studied medicine since I was young. I want to check your highness's injury. Is that wrong? His hand slides around Yuan Yi's waist. Yuan Yi's body trembles slightly. He grabs Yijuo's wrist and looks up into his eyes. Yijuo can't help but chuckle, helping him into the room to check. You're just a dog they kicked out. Touching you would dirty my hands. The hypocrite arrives. He says he'll help him inside to check, but after just a few steps, Yijuo trips him. Yuan Yi stumbles forward. Yijuo catches him by the waist, cushioning Yuan Yi's fall with his own body. He grins wickedly. Is your highness that eager? This is the second time you've thrown yourself at me. Guess I'll just check you here. He grabs Yuan Yi's ankle. Ignoring his protests, he tears open his pant leg. Yuan Yi shouts in shame and anger, you maniac! He coughs violently. Seeing him like this, Yijuo feels strangely uncomfortable. He releases Yuan Yi's leg. He looks up into his eyes. What are you playing innocent for? You think I don't know what you're about? He leans closer to Yuan Yi. He sneers in his ear, acting pitiful to seduce the emperor and the third prince, surviving in the capital by playing. They got bored of you, and you slunk away. You're just a dog they kicked out. Touching you would dirty my hands. A slap cracks across his face. Yijuo stares in disbelief. Yuan Yi's face is ice cold. A spoiled brat. The He family's given you too much freedom. How dare you slander his majesty? Yijuo glares and raises his hand to strike back. Seeing Yuan Yi instinctively because his eye shook, his hand pauses. He doesn't hit him. Then he sees that Yuan Yi's leg really is injured. Clearly Yijuo didn't expect it. Under such extreme humiliation, Yuan Yi finally sheds a single tear. Yijuo sees him crying. His heart softens. He reaches out to comfort him. But as he grips his chin, forcing him to look up, cruel words spill out again. I know what you want. How about this? You please me the way you please the emperor and the others. Maybe if I'm in a good mood, your dream will come true. To make Yijuo believe him, Yuan Yi actually harms his own body. He's in the middle of saying these humiliating words. He pulls Yijuo away and tells Yuan Yi the medicine is on the third shelf. Yijuo drags Liu Changmo out, saying, why are you wasting words with him? Inside the gate, on horseback, Liu Changmo says bluntly, I know what you're thinking. You think the crown prince is faking, trying to stay in the northern desert to spy on our strength, preparing the court to conquer us. At these words, Yijuo's eyes turn sharp. Isn't that it? Liu Changmo says, maybe yes, maybe no, if he hasn't shown hostility. We don't need to target him like this. No wonder he called you a hothead who can't keep his cool. Seeing Liu Changmo not hiding that he was eavesdropping, and even using that line to tease him, he snaps, I'm young. You've never beaten me at hunting. What good are those extra years? His brutal honesty makes Liu Changmo want to tear him apart. Yijuo suddenly gets serious, but if the snow demon isn't dealt with, that dog prince will get wind of it. If the court uses exterminating the snow demon as an excuse to march north, we'll be in trouble. With that, he asks where the snow demon appeared. He spurs his horse forward. Lu Qiangyang follows close behind. When they see the fourth unmarried woman who's been killed, as expected, like the first three, her heart was carved out. But this time, besides the heart, her eyes were also taken. Meanwhile outside, snow falls heavily. A humanoid creature holds a bloody heart in its hands, gnawing on it. Suddenly he stops, sniffing the air carefully. Smells good. Scene shifts. The maid is complaining that the wound Yuan Yi inflicted on himself to fool Yijuo is too severe. Yuan Yi says to eliminate Yijuo's suspicions that I'm faking, this injury is nothing. He thinks, but judging from Yijuo's reaction, he doesn't seem to know about the dragon mace. Then he asks his attendant, did you find out what happened with the army? The attendant tells him they only know it's a murder case. The details haven't been uncovered yet. So set sights on the handsome crown prince. He protectively guards his wife. Hearing the attendant hasn't found specifics, Yuan Yi's heart tightens. What could require both young master, he and army general Liu Changmo to act together? He thinks for a moment, puzzled. Keep digging. There might be something useful here. Yuan Yi's voice carries fatigue. I'm tired. Put out the lights. A gust of wind blows through. The candle goes out. Only wisps of smoke remain. The maid wonders why the wind suddenly picked up, then sees a dark The basin crashed to the floor, blood water splashing out. In that instant, the maid Xiaohan was snatched by the snow ghost. Yuan Yi and his attendants chased out the door, yelling for it to stop. Stop, let go of Xiaohan. The figure stood on the rooftop, turned around, revealing a gaping bloody maw with rows of white teeth that struck terror in the heart. The snow ghost was spotted by people in the manor, causing instant chaos. It's the snow ghost. The snow ghost is here. The snow ghost ran out from the crown prince's room. Liu Changmo and Yijuo just returned to the manor and witnessed the scene. Liu Changmo said that thing on its shoulder looks like the maid from the crown prince's room. Yijuo gritted his teeth and said it actually showed up at our door. He looked around, but didn't see the crown prince. So he ordered Liu Changmo to chase the snow. Meanwhile, Yuan Yi was holding the handkerchief Xiaohan had used to wipe his wound, feeling dejected. Suddenly his hand was grabbed. Come with me. Yuan Yi stopped and demanded, what are you doing? Yijuo said coldly, trouble started right after you came to the He Manor. While everyone's chasing the snow ghost, you're hiding alone. I need to watch you myself to make sure you're not up to something. Yuan Yi was furious. Why are you always targeting me? I'm staying because... Before he could finish, he saw a shadow on the ground. He quickly pulled the stunned Yuan Yi into a room and locked the door. It all happened in an instant, but how could a room stop the snow ghost power? Its claw pierced through the wall. Yihua sensed major trouble. I clearly saw the snow ghost escape in that direction. Why did it suddenly turn back? When the snow ghost entered, Yihua and Yuan Yi were in the inner room, holding their breath. The snow ghost walked past the window. They watched its shadow. Yihua was about to draw his sword when Yuan Yi stopped him. Don't attack head-on. You're no match for her. Yihua refused to accept this. How do you know? Yuan Yi said quietly. It's not some weak snow ghost. With silver frost on its body, bulging veins, and a voice like striking stone, it's a kui. Neither of them expected the snow ghost that should have fled to turn back. Yihua wanted to kill the snow ghost but was stopped by Yuan Yi, who told him this wasn't a weak snow ghost but a kui. Yihua looked puzzled. A kui? Young master probably doesn't remember this legendary monster. A kui not only has innate demonic power, but its body heals extremely fast. Young master is barely 10 years old and unskilled in combat. If you rush out, it might tear you to shreds. The first part sounded normal, but hearing him say he was young made him unhappy. Is he deliberately calling me small? Suddenly a loud crash interrupted their stare down. The person had several ice spikes pierced through him and was already dead. Yihua instinctively pulled Yuan Yi behind him, then grabbed his hand and ran through the broken wall. The snow ghost chased relentlessly behind them. Yuan Yi was running with his injured legs stumbling. He suddenly shook off Yijua's hand. He told him that kui fear water by nature. There's a lake at the back mount. He told him to escape alone and not worry about him. Yihua glanced at his injury. The snow ghost was closing in. Yuan Yi was stunned when Yihua swept him up in his arms. He ran quickly toward the lake, reaching the water's edge. Yuan Yi suddenly grabbed Yihua and said haltingly, Yihua, put me down. Yihua was annoyed. I carried you all the way here. I nearly drowned as a child. Hearing this, Yihua pressed his lips together, thinking something over. But just as the snow ghost's claw was about to pierce them, he jumped into the water holding Yuan Yi. Underwater, Yihua held Yuan Yi tightly. Yuan Yi couldn't hold out much longer, but the snow ghost watched from the shore, ready to deliver a fatal blow the moment they surfaced. Seeing Yuan Yi fading, Yihua pulled him close. He gave him an intimate contact, passing air. Yuan Yi quickly came to him. When he saw Yijua's face so close and felt the softness on his lips, his face instantly turned red. After they came ashore, Yuan Yi coughed violently. Yihua said stubbornly, just now underwater, I saw you were about to choke to death, so I did that. Don't read too much into it. Yuan Yi quietly hummed in acknowledgement, hugging his arms. He felt so cold. He tried to stand on his trembling legs when something caught his eye. He looked closely and turned pale. It was a bloody heart. He trembled in fear, covering his eyes, not daring to look again. Yijua's mocking voice rang out. The Great Crown Prince is quite timid, always getting startled. Knowing beauty only beguiles the heart, yet he couldn't help falling for it. Yihua leaned in to examine the heart and said quietly it was left by the snow ghost. But in the previous 4 cases, yet the snow ghost always ripped out hearts. Why would it leave the heart here this time? Now Yuan Yi clenched his fingers and said in a trembling voice, it's Xiaohan's heart. He grabbed Yijua's clothes and begged, Yijua, please find a way to get Xiaohan's body back. Before he could finish, he collapsed. Yijua caught him and called out in vain. Seeing his furrowed brow and no response, he sighed helplessly. And he's out. He then checked Yuan Yi's injuries. After soaking in water so long, the wounds only got worse. For his frail body, this was the limit. He picked Yuan Yi up and said sarcastically, meeting you has been my worst luck ever. Liu Chengmo found them then, telling him he lost the snow ghost halfway and couldn't find it. He thought it might have doubled back. He heard noise by the lake and came over. Are you guys okay? Yihua glanced at Yuan Yi. I'm fine. This guy seems to know some secrets about the snow ghost. He said it's not a monster but a kui. Liu Chengmo asked puzzled, didn't all the kui disappear decades ago? Yihua wasn't sure why he said that, planning to question him thoroughly when he woke up. Liu Chengmo reached out to take Yuan Yi. I'll take the crown prince back and get him a doctor. You go change clothes quickly. Hearing this, Yihua felt displeased. Liu Chengmo, you've been acting strange lately. We're calling him crown prince, that's so chummy. He's from the eastern capital. Can't you tell friend from foe? With that, he carried Yuan Yi off, leaving Liu Chengmo to search again for new clues. He placed Yuan Yi on the bed, covered him with blankets, but his mouth showed no mercy. You still seem useful for now, so I won't bully you yet. He was about to leave when the sleeping Yuan Yi grabbed his hand and called out, Father! I was wrong. Hearing his sleep talk, Zhuo suddenly remembered the gossip at banquets. Just talk about how the crown prince was beautiful, and with that face he had not only the emperor, but also the third prince wrapped around his finger. Remembering those rumors, looking at Yuan Yi clutching his arm, anger rose in his heart. He said angrily, who are you trying to seduce now, taking me for someone else? He was about to shake free and leave when Yuan Yi unconsciously pulled him back. Don't leave me. Tuo's pupils contracted sharply, heat rising to his face. He said uncomfortably, burning up with fever, and still pulling these bewitching tricks. The useless crown prince to get close to Changmo to stay in Mobe, making Hiju wildly jealous. In his sleep, Yuan Yi was having his blood sucked by butterflies. He only felt pain, unbearable pain that made him cry uncontrollably. Then father appeared and called out, yeah. Yuan Yi pushed his weak body up, leaving the darkness, running toward the light. He hugged the father tightly. Yeah, you have my blood in you. So you won't cry or fear pain, right? Yuan Yi struggled to control his tears, keeping them from falling. I won't cry or fear pain. I'll bring back what father wants. Only then did the emperor touch his cheek and say gently, good. I'll wait for you. When he woke up, it was already the next day. The attendant helped him up and told him he had nightmares all night. Seeing he really couldn't take it, they gave him a bottle of raw dew. Yuan Yi took a handkerchief and wiped his face, asking if anyone came by during this time. The attendant told him Ling's servant came. The Duke prepared very comfortable carriages and horses for His Highness, waiting for the Crown Prince to depart for the capital. General Liu will escort him, ensuring the Crown Prince has no mishaps on the road. Yuan Yi stroked the handkerchief in his hand, looking very sad. Xiaohan always handed it to me herself. Sangzi, Xiaohan is your sister. Because she followed me, she met a terrible fate. I've wronged you both. Yuan Yi stood up and said firmly, "Oh, I'll find that monster, kill it, and avenge Xiaohan." But we're isolated in Mobei. Duke Lingyan sent his servant to deliver the message. He might not even have the strength to get out of bed, so the most powerful person in Mobei now is that Yihua. The attendant told him yesterday when he saw Yihua leaving his room. He looked angry, like he was really upset. Yuan Yi scoffed, just youthful temperament. Meanwhile, Yihua, who usually slept till noon, actually woke up unusually early for once. The maid asked what he was doing. Yihua cheerfully told her he had seriousness. That Crown Prince seems to know something. I'm going to question him properly today. He walked a few steps, then stopped suddenly, scratching his cheek uncomfortably. He asked the maid beside him, "How do I look today?" "Handsome." The maid smiled. "Handsome." Yihua smiled and walked off in high spirit. At that moment, Yuan Yi was sitting across from Liu Changmo. Speaking of the Kui chaos studied 3 years ago, in just 1 year it devoured more than half of the Tianquan nation. Only after the current emperor appointed Duke as commander-in-chief against the coup was the chaos quelled. Liu Changmo raised a question. Back then the Crown Prince was still young. He probably never left the palace. How could he determine the snow ghost is a Kui? Yuan Yi was silent for a moment, placed his hand on Liu Changmo's wrist, and leaned closer to General Liu. "If I tell you, can you keep it secret?" Liu Changmo looked at his slender fingers, his cheeks flushing slightly, frozen in place. Just then, a voice rang out. "What secret does the Crown Prince have?" The handsomely dressed young man came cheerfully to find his wife, only to find his wife flirting with another man. Who could stand that? Last episode, Yuan Yi was leaning close to Liu Changmo, about to tell him the secret of the coup when Yihua, who came looking for Yuan Yi, saw them. His excited mood instantly plummeted and his face darkened. Liu Changmo saw Yihua, this big fool, and called out happily, "Yihua, perfect timing! The Crown Prince was about to tell me the secret of the Kui. Come over and listen." Yuan Yi thought to himself, is General Liu kind of a naive idiot? Yihua walked up to Yuan Yi, looking down at him. "Oh really? Then I'm all ears." He plopped down right next to Yuan Yi, but Yuan Yi didn't want to talk anymore. Since it's a secret involving lives, he obviously can't tell just anyone. Hearing this, Yihua got angry. He grabbed Yuan Yi's wrist. He leaned in. "What do you mean? Liu Changmo can hear it but I can't?" Yuan Yi pulled his hand free. "Young master, he isn't old enough to meddle in such matters. Even if I told you, how could you make decision?" Yihua scoffed. "There's nothing in the he manner I can't decide yet." Liu Changmo confirmed Yihua's words, saying now that Duke Lingyan is gravely ill. Young master handles everything big and small in the manner. And with the snow ghost incident causing such an uproar, if the Crown Prince has any intel, we hope you'll share everything. Yuan Yi thought for a moment and decided to tell him for Xiaohan's sake. Turns out after the coup chaos was quelled, the emperor would rise again and ordered soldiers who fought the Kui to record their appearance, habits, and weaknesses in a book called the Strange Kui Records. This book was compiled in secret. Few in the court knew about it. As the Crown Prince, father had me read this book as a child, so yesterday when the snow ghost appeared I recognized it immediately. It's definitely a Kui, no mistake. Liu Changmo was very puzzled. I heard Kui have no intelligence. They just catch people to suck blood and rip out hearts. From that perspective it does seem like a Kui. However, Yihua didn't think so. If it's a Kui, why would he dig out people's eyes and why carry off the body but leave the heart behind? This is completely different from how demons behave. How do you explain that? Yuan Yi was just as confused. He asked to review the case files from these incidents. Maybe he could find some clues there. Liu Changmo had a moment of clarity. Right, how could I forget that? Having the case files will make investigating way easier. He went to get them, but Yihua stopped him and said he'd go with him. After they left and walked a bit, Yihua grabbed Liu Changmo's arm. "Don't show the Crown Prince the files." Liu Changmo asked, confused why not. Yihua said, "I still think something's fishy. Everyone knows the current emperor seized power during the demon chaos when the court was in turmoil. He took control by force, then won over the people by wiping out the demons. If there really is a demon record book, why wouldn't he let it spread? That would be the perfect way to show off his achievements." But Liu Changmo thought not showing off was actually the mark of a wise ruler. The demon chaos killed off half of Tianquan. Broadcasting it wouldn't help people rebuild their lives. Yihua didn't want to argue anymore. He just told him not to show the files without his permission. Meanwhile, Yuan Yi's attendant was asking him why he mentioned the demon record. And why did he deliberately provoke that arrogant kid? Yuan Yi showed a knowing smile. Because he's still just a boy. A naturally mischievous, rebellious boy. A man tried to assault the beautiful Crown Prince, but the sickly beauty hid. Yuan Yi was explaining to his attendant that he deliberately provoked Yihua to fuel his desire to conquer. Right then, Yihua came storming in. He pinned him down and pressed himself on top. Gripping his chin, he demanded if I hadn't come in just now. "Were you planning to use that pretty face to seduce General? I already told you if you want something from the He family, just please me the way you pleased your father, the emperor." His hand slid down, tearing open his robe. He touched his chest, his lips slowly moving closer to Yuan Yi's face. Yuan Yi bit down hard on Yihua's ear. He kneed Yihua in the stomach. Yihua winced and let go. Yuan Yi pushed himself up and told Yihua to get lost. Yihua covered his bitten ear, glaring at him with anger. Yuan Yi snapped. "You've got some nerve. Just because the He family spoils you, you think you can do whatever you want. If you dare insult the Crown Prince again with those disgusting lies, I'll show you what happens when you disrespect your supreme." Hearing this, Yihua smirked and raised his hands in surrender. "If you weren't trying to seduce General Liu, then why share all that information about demons? What do you want?" Yuan Yi told him he wanted to stay in Mobei, to find the snow demon that killed Xiaohan and avenge her. I don't care if you believe in the demon record or not. Without me, you'll never catch the snow demon. Believe it or not, this deal works in your favor. Yihua thought to himself, so he just wants me to put in a good word for him. To let him stay, but he picked the right person to ask. After thinking it over, Yihua agreed it could work and accepted. Yuan Yi immediately kicked him out. Yihua left fuming, and told him to have his room ready tomorrow. That's all. After he left, the dagger in Yuan Yi's hand clattered to the floor. He let out a huge breath of relief and collapsed onto the bed. He thought to himself, dealing with someone like Yihua definitely requires playing hard to get. But why does Yihua, at such a young age, have such an intimidating presence? Young master, he asked to let the sickly crown prince stay in Mobei because of this. When Liu Changmo rushed to the pleasure house looking for Yihua was casually watching dances. Liu Changmo was speechless. He had to admire how shameless Yihua was. Turns out Liu Changmo heard the old master had given him a serious talking to. He rushed over worried only to find out he worried for nothing. I heard you got scolded because of the crown prince. You didn't go complain to the old master, did you? Yihua, of course not. Not only didn't I complain, I praised the crown prince and convinced them to let him stay to help us catch the snow demon. Liu Changmo flat out said he didn't believe it. Believe it or not, I took a beating and the old man agreed. He remembered his grandfather's warning when he went to sea. The prince might be even more dangerous than the snow demon. Yihua said, I understand, grandfather, but what can the crown prince do all alone? I'll watch him every single day, okay? Wasn't reassured. Your meridians have been damaged since you were young. Your martial arts are far weaker than others. You're always causing trouble. How can I not worry? Yihua brushed it off. What's there to worry about? I've mastered trap mechanisms. Ha, I'll show you later. I'm just as good as Liu Changbo. Hearing this, the old master got so mad he threw his medicine pill. You think I don't know about all your dirty tricks? Yihua went silent. The old master looked at his favorite grandson, and finally agreed to let the crown prince stay. But only for 1 month, and he told Liu Changmo to watch him and report back every day. After 1 month, whether they catch the snow demon or not, the crown prince has to leave Mobei. He looked at Liu Changmo across from him. So I'll be counting on you for this month. Liu Changmo said, I don't mind. This is actually great. With the crown prince here, we can definitely catch the snow demon faster. The old master told me to prepare a carriage a couple days ago. He was going to send the crown prince back to the eastern capital. You and the old master are really on guard against the crown prince. But I think the crown prince is gentle and refined, well-spoken. Why give him such a hard time? Yihua felt helpless. Liu Changmo, who doesn't look like a good person. When Liu Changmo shot back, you don't look like a good person. Suddenly supporting the crown prince. Who knows what you're really up to? Yihua's voice dropped. I just think seeing him reminds me of his dead handmaid. His brief looked real. His reactions and how he treats me, nothing like the rumors about him being a pervert. Liu Changmo was stunned hearing this. Rumors about him being a pervert. Sure, I had no idea, tell me more. Yihua glanced at him and suddenly didn't want him knowing too much about the crown prince. And so he changed his mind. I don't think you need to know anymore. Liu Changmo clinked cups with him and asked, so now you're burying the hatchet with the crown prince, becoming friends. Yihua scoffed. Friends, how could that be? My grandfather got one thing right. If the crown prince has other motives, he could be more dangerous than the snow demon. Liu Changmo was even more confused. If you're so suspicious, why not just listen to the old master and send the crown prince back to the eastern capital? I really don't think you actually believe the crown prince can catch the snow demon. That's why you let him stay. Yihua watched the dancer's swaying waist. He thought of Yuan Yi's slender waist and beautiful face. Is that so strange? It's probably because he's gorgeous. Who doesn't want to keep something beautiful around a little longer? Yihua was thinking inappropriate thoughts when suddenly the snow demon burst through the window and pounced on the lead dancer, devouring her. After biting her to death, it looked up at Yihua. It grabbed the dancer's body, threw her over its shoulder and ran off. Yihua and Liu Changmo chased after it. Meanwhile, Yuan Yi invited Songzi to sit and talk. Songzi, do you have friends? Songzi looked confused but answered honestly. Before I was transferred to guard duty in the eastern capital, I was a deputy lieutenant at the border. I had some good friends in the army. Yuan Yi looked down, seeming a bit lonely. I really envy you. I've never left the palace since I was young. There's no one in the palace who would be my friend. Every day I'm thinking about guarding against those scheming people. I've forgotten how to connect with anyone. Lu Song said, confused, the crown prince has such a high status. In the future, plenty of people try to suck up to you. Why worry about connecting with people? Yuan Yi finally revealed the truth. He believed Yihua had let his guard down a bit. To fully earn his trust, he couldn't keep playing hard to get. But he didn't know how to make friends, so he was asking Songzi for advice. Songzi talked easily about it. Start by chatting about common interests. Hang out together regularly, drink, and talk about women. Hearing this, Yuan Yi fell into thought. This was different from what he imagined. Yeah, the close friends share wine, recite poetry, and compose verses, so this is what it's really like in reality. Just then, there was urgent knocking at the door. Songzi said irritably, who is it? Knocking so rudely this late at night. He opened the door. On the ground was a bloody heart. Then he heard Liu Changmo shouting, Yihua, the snow demon went that way. 血鬼, Songzi said through gritted teeth, the snow demon just delivered itself to our door. The crown prince said, wait. To Songzi, hide the heart first. The snow demon already escaped. It left the heart on purpose. Songzi asked, confused, on purpose. Yuan Yi told him it was the same thing at the lake last time. He didn't know why the snow demon did this. But a monster that eats hearts just killed someone and left the heart at our door. That's hard to explain. Right now I can't give Yihua any reason to suspect me. Yihua made it clear. You call me a kid one more time and I'll prove to you whether or not I'm a kid. Liu Changmo chased the snow demon to the crown prince's courtyard and lost the trail. He saw Yuan Yi in the courtyard and asked, Your Highness, did you notice anything unusual? Yuan Yi pointed randomly in a direction. He said he heard a noise early. When he came out, he saw a dark figure rushing away. Songzi already went after it. Liu Changmo quickly chased in the direction he pointed. Yuan Yi turned around and saw Yihua's aggressive eyes staring at him. His heart skipped a beat. Afraid he'd been caught in a lie. Did the snow demon appear again? Yihua suddenly moved closer, teasing, why is your face so red? 从你的心脏. Oh, I know. You're scared, right? Last time when you saw that heart in the bushes. You this time you're so scared your face turned red. Yuan Yi snapped back, annoyed. You know perfectly well last time it was because I'm afraid of water. Plus I was exhausted. He stopped himself like he didn't want to argue. He covered his head. Forget it. Why am I arguing with a kid? Hearing this, Yihua's lips turned down, clearly annoyed. He suddenly grabbed Yuan Yi's hand. He moved close. I'm saying this for the last time. Don't treat me like a kid. Say it one more time, and I'll prove to you whether or not I'm a kid. Yuan Yi saw something that made his eyes widen in shock. Seeing him looking scared, He let go of his wrist. Looks like we're not catching the snow demon today anyway, I'm leaving. As he was about to leave the courtyard, he turned back and said pointedly, tomorrow I'm waiting for the crown prince's intel. Prove you're worth keeping in Mobe. Yuan Yi watched him leave, thinking He has wisdom and courage beyond his years. But he's also still got a kid's rebelliousness and stubbornness. At that moment he couldn't help but wonder, can I really become friends with him? The next day, Yuan Yi, He and the others went to the morgue to investigate. After examining the bodies, Yuan Yi thought there might be another culprit. According to the demon record, 33 years ago, demons appeared in groups. Their behavior suggests they're pack creatures. They almost never appear alone. If the snow demon is really a demon, then we're in big trouble. His theory was quickly shot down by He. No, we can now confirm there's only one killer. Even though the methods for removing hearts and eyes are slightly different, he looked at Yuan Yi. So you still can't confirm whether the snow demon is actually a demon. Yuan Yi said, I'm 70 to 80% sure. From the bodies with hearts removed to actually seeing the demon's appearance. It matches the records perfectly. Only the eye removal can't be explained. The snow demon removing eyes goes against its nature. If there's no accomplice, then I can determine. The snow demon is a demon with some intelligence, or someone's controlling it, making it act against its nature. In the end, they all agreed to solve the mystery of the snow demon. They had to focus on why it removes people's eyes. He's the useless crown prince Yuan Yi. People mock and insult him. Now he's finally found someone who understands him, but he has to stay on guard. He and Yuan Yi, seeing how careful the other was, both gained new respect for each other, while also deciding they needed to guard against each other even more. Only Liu Changmo stood there looking completely lost, not understanding a single word they said. He could only follow He orders to notify everyone of the evening curfew. No one goes out. Also, to investigate if anyone in the city has been gouging out people's eyes. Liu Changmo acknowledged, and was about to leave, when clear bell sounds rang out. A young man walked through the door. Brother Changmo, I'm back. He said, delighted Li Jiang. Li Jiang ran straight to Liu Changmo and jumped on him. I missed you guys so much. Liu Changmo smiled back. I missed you too. He pulled Li Jiang down. You're too old for this.